All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is a wonderful Sunday morning, the 21st of October, and we have officially reached a point where we are beyond volumes for Sakamoto Days, and we are now just in numbered chapters. So, I'm going to keep with the same theme as we have been, with me doing 9 chapters per section. So that means that we'll have one more session after this, and then the session after that one will be my final one, and then I will be completely caught up with Sakamoto Days. So, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Yo! Peoples! Kyushu92 here. I sometimes have to double check to make sure that my mic is on, because when I do my yo's at the beginning, I put my heart and soul into it. And if my mic is off and you guys don't get to hear it, then I feel like, no, that's one that people have missed out on. But I just wanted to be sure. Hybrid, it is good to see you. I got chat down here on my phone instead. Medela MN, it is good to see ya. I am prepared. I won't say I'm fully prepared, but I am very happy to read today's chapters because last we left out on, Shin beat Haruma. We have Shishiba pretty much dealing with Kumanomi and Carolina Reaper. Miss Osaragi shows up and just decimates Carolina Reaper instantly. Just instantly. He gets cut out of the floor, literally cartoonishly. He falls into the hole. There's a moment of silence, and then all parts of his body parts just fly through the air. So Carolina Reaper is just completely dead. And now we are dealing with Miss Osaragi, who thinks that Amane is the one who has currently injured Shishiba, because Shishiba got injured by Carolina Reaper's gas saber. And Kumanomi is there as well. But Miss Osaragi is, currently strangling Amane, thinking that he's the one who actually did that. So hopefully Shishiba can let her know that Amane is not the one at fault here. My camera's just a little bit bright. Let me bring it down. And because if Miss Osaragi starts fighting, it's over. It's over. But let's go ahead and get to the chapters. We're going to be reading chapters 162 all the way to chapters 170. So also another thing that happened, Nagumo stabbed Uzuki, and now, even though Nagumo has stabbed a very vital spot, hold on, sneeze is coming on. Even though Nagumo stabbed what was supposed to be a vital spot, which was where Uzuki's heart was supposed to be, Uzuki is still very much fine and has now shifted to the Rion personality. So, days 162, familiar faces. All around me are familiar faces. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. But Sakamoto is speeding down all the stairs in order to get to the underground special exhibitions vault. And I'm kind of reading from the narration. But Sakamoto is, days 162, familiar faces. Sakamoto is headed towards the underground special exhibitions vault. This sure is a long ways off. Guess I'll take a shortcut. And then, while Sakamoto is speeding down the stairs, a thought pops up. What did you want to talk about, Wu-Tang? And this is when Wu-Tang was speaking to Sakamoto. When you faced X in Thailand, you said a different personality emerged, and that she was a friend of yours who had supposedly died. Yeah. My guess is that it's some kind of multiple personality disorder. Someone having multiple personalities? I've seen that in movies, especially in Split. Yeah, so you're familiar with it. When a person experiences intense stress for long periods of time, or repeated traumatic incidents, sometimes a separate personality forms to deal with the unbearable suffering. And it shows Uzuki's face, but his countenance has taken on that of Rion. Yo, Kitty, it's good to see you. Bless you. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, be right back. Oh, that's what you mean. Be right back. Take your time. Take your time. We got many chapters to go through. But Uzuki is here, and his countenance has changed, including like the way his eyes look. And we have a scar on the side of his face as well. And we have Nagumo there with Asaki. Long time no see, Nagumo. That's weird. Uzuki, you never struck me as having much of a sense of humor. But that impression of Akao, and I keep saying Akao, but it should be Akao. I should have been saying Akao this entire time. This is something that's kind of been in my head after last week's session. So I do apologize if my pronunciation of Ryo Nakao's name was just too syllable-y. It's supposed to be Akao, not Akao, but Akao. But that impression of Akao is so detailed, I don't know if it reads. What a bummer. Here you are, the son of a famous spy family, and you can't even recognize a friend? How'd they know that? Their speech, expressions, posture, mannerisms, all of them are identical to Akao's. What's going on? And then Uzuki starts looking around. So where's Sakamoto? Oh, so a little while back I ran into him in Thailand and... what a hassle to explain. Huh? What? Oh, come to think of it, he got married and had a kid now. Is his wife cute? What does the kid take after? Who does the kid take after? So he's finally lost his virginity. What a laugh. And this is Rion. This is the Rion personality saying all of this. One-sided conversation, rapid fire with no tact whatsoever. That's Akao. And then Asaki is in the back going, kill her! And Nagumo's looking back at Asaki, and Uzuki Akao, is looking at him, kind of smirking a little bit. What's with that relaxed small talk? What are you doing inside of K? You died back then! I saw it! Then kill me again. Why be at around the bush? I think this is supposed to be why beat around the bush, but there's a space in between be and at. Then kill me again. Why beat around the bush? You creepy ghost! And Asaki, with anger veins near his eyes, suddenly gets dropped by Sakamoto, who I don't think was supposed to be doing that on purpose, because apparently Sakamoto took a shortcut by punching through all the floors, straight down to this secret exhibition's vault. He just bodied the chairman of the JAA on accident. But yeah, Asaki is knocked out, and Nagumo, with his eyes looking blank, is just like, huh? Whoops. I thought you were Uzuki. Oh, so he did do that on purpose, but he thought that was Uzuki this whole time. So he purposefully drop-kicked the chairman, not knowing it was the chairman. Never change, Sakamoto. I thought you were Uzuki. Dang. And then Uzuki, I was about to call him Rion. Uzuki goes, "There's zero resemblance, fatso!" Are you the Akao version right now? Yeah. They're acting like this is no big deal. Version? Then it shows Uzuki, Sakamoto, and Nagumo all standing around each other. In a weird sort of way, this is like the original trio standing with each other. And they both look at Nagumo and go, "You haven't changed at all. You two have changed too much. There's so much I want to ask. Akao, what are you doing in Uzuki? Or, actually, are you the real Akao?" I'm like an Akao created by this guy's memory. Okay, so it really is a separate personality. So that rules out any sort of mental tampering of like memories being implanted into Uzuki, but this is just like a unique Akao version of Rion that is created within Uzuki's mind. So at least we get the short end of it, short of it. I'm like an Akao created by this guy's memory. I don't get it. So sometimes a separate personality forms, and this is back when Wu-Tang was speaking to him. Anyway, I was created to protect Uzuki, so I can't kill him. As the Rion personality tries to go for Uzuki's own throat, but it won't go any further. So this personality, wow, this is a safeguard. All the capabilities and mental headspace of Akao, but none of the options to, take Uzuki out, because that's also kind of programmed into this separate personality as well. Very unique when you think about it. Anyway, I was created to protect Uzuki, so I can't kill him. So I called on you, Sakamoto. And, that's the purpose of the bounty, so that Sakamoto would go after him. And we get a flashback when Nagumo was telling that Sakamoto, there's a price on your head, 1 billion yen. Why would anyone do that now? Akao put the bounty on you, Sakamoto, so you'd kill Uzuki. I figured you'd track down the source right away and do it, but I had no idea you were tired and gotten all fat. You can't kill Uzuki now. As for Nagumo, my backup plan, I can't believe you're such a moron. You thought the heart was on the wrong side of the chest. What? What? The heart's on the other side? Wow. So Uzuki's heart is on the right instead of the left. The heart's on the other side? That's... And then all of a sudden, smoke detectors go off and the entire room just fills with smoke. Fire extinguisher gas? The museum security must have activated it. Is there a fire upstairs or something? I don't mind dying, but passing out would be a big problem. I'll switch to Uzuki. Don't worry. There's a hole I came through. And it shows the hole that Sakamoto came through. Then it shows the nice, clean, pristine floors of an upper floor. Then it cracking, and then it exploding as we see Sakamoto, Rion Uzuki, and Nagumo standing up. And they're through it, and they all look to the side. And then Uzuki Rion starts laughing, going, I thought the punchline was going to be that the hole was too small, but it's huge. Thanks to Sakamoto's size. Shut up. I have an idea. Just stay as Akao forever. What? And then it shows... I know. Oh, I know. It took me a split second to realize what I'm looking at. Last 3 panels. It shows like a piece of metal laying on the ground. But this piece of metal is laying in front of a door. And there's a cut line through the door. Which means that someone sliced this door. Someone sliced this doorknob off to open the door. There's only one individual who will slice through a door to make it open instead of opening it by hand. The one member of the Order we haven't seen in a hot minute. Old man Takamura is here. Calzone, you just came in when this is the end of chapter 162. Old man Takamura is here. You ever put your arm in one position and then your bone starts to move in a spot where if you move it in one direction it'll pop? Sorry, that got me a little bit. That was weird. Old man Takamura is here. It's an emergency exit door opening and it just slowly creaks open. He's here. He's here. Oh, I'm scared. CDs, good to see you. We just got done with chapter 162. Onwards to chapter 163. Please, please, please show me. Days 163. Misfortune. And we got 4 guards inside of a bathroom right now. What's happening with Master X's plan? Even though we've infiltrated the JAA as spies for X, there's still no orders from Haruma. And then, even though we've infiltrated the JAA as spies for X, there are still no orders from Haruma. And then the one dude who was speaking first goes, shh. Oh, don't worry. I learned not to forget names from the last fiasco. I called him Takamaru by mistake, but old man Takamura, he here. But the one dude who's speaking in this bathroom stall with four guys, I hold up three fingers like I'm bruh man from Martin, but four guys that are spies for X. One of them goes shh, and he's going huh. And oh no, y'all picked the worst possible place to have this discussion. They picked the worst possible place to have this discussion. Because when this spy says shh, we hear someone mumbling inside of the stall, and just like a certain order member we know, it is unintelligible. I'm so excited to see what happens. But one of them is thinking, uh-oh, did someone from the JAA overhear us? And they all start moving towards the stall with their guns drawn. And the one dude that started speaking at the beginning, he's a dude with long dark hair with like hair framing the sides of his face and a ponytail in the back. And he immediately opens fire into the stall where person we know who it is inside. And we get he fires like 3 rounds inside of the stall where the mumbling is coming from. And this is going to end poorly for him. It's going to end badly for him, isn't it? He kneels down to look through the hole that he just shot in through. And then all of a sudden, 2 fingers come out of the hole and grab him by the nose and won't allow him to move at all. The fact that these fingers look kind of old, but they are also incredibly veiny and they're gripping with all their strength. The dude's face cannot be moved from the stall and he's flailing. Ah! What's wrong? Then there's a flushing sound. There's a flushing sound from inside the stall. Then the door clicks unlocked. And then the entire array of stalls just get bisected. Straight through the middle of all the stall doors, they get sliced through. And not only do the doors get sliced through, but unsurprisingly, the henchman of X, his head gets separated from its shoulders, including his fingers are still pressed up against the door of the stall. In this moment of the cutting, they are still just, the upper half of the fingers are just still pressed up against the bathroom stall, while person we know who's in this stall is still gripping onto this man's face, well, his head now, and it just gets sliced through completely. And it's old man Takamura who just casually walks outside of the stall. Dude's decapitated head just laying in front of him. And then the other 3 remaining and, currently still alive members of X's crew, henchmen, they all start sweating bullets. And then one dude with light spiky hair goes and aims a gun at Takamura, and he shoots. And Takamura, without batting an eye, blocks the gunshot, and it ricochets, just narrowly missing his face. What chapter am I on? We are on chapter 163 right now. Takamura just raises his sword, blocks the bullet, and causes it to ricochet towards one of the urinals. And this guy is just looking wide-eyed before Takamura already has his sword partially just unsheathed. Just, you know how Virgil likes to unsheath his sword in Devil May Cry? He just has it partially unsheathed. And he already has his sword sticking into the neck of the guy. He just minorly cuts into this guy's neck, and it just causes a fountain. I see it. Okay, there we go. He just cuts into this guy's neck, and it just causes a fountain of blood to shoot out. And another one of the henchmen, two down, two to go, they go, what the heck? And he goes to aim for old man Takemura, and Takemura decides that this man no longer needs the arm he's using to aim a gun at him with. So he cuts off the dude's arm, including which is holding the gun that was aimed at him, and Takamura is already walking past this guy's already displaced head. Already walking past him as his head is looking at itself, passing by the bathroom mirror. 3 down, 1 to go. And the only other person, only one person to survive this was one who didn't even draw on Takemura at all. He's just cowering right next to the sink, next to the door. And Takemura, the thing that scares me the most about this is the fact that Takemura is already out of the bathroom before the guy he just decapitated, his head hits the ground. He's already out of the bathroom before the dude's head hits the ground. So now we cut back to Sakamoto, Nagumo, and Rion Akao, and Uzuki Akao. You want me to just stay in this personality the whole time? Don't be an idiot! Hurry up and kill me, I can't do it myself! And then we get to Nagumo. You know, that just might work. Sometimes they resolve multiple personality disorders by integrating them. If you just remain in charge of Uzuki's body, Akao. Yeah. And Uzuki Rion is looking at his hand going, there's not much time. Tch. At this point, I don't want to kill either of you. And Uzuki Rion is just staring, and then goes to grab Sakamoto by the cuff of his shirt. Sakamoto, I've so had it with you, you moron. If I take over, then what'll happen to Uzuki? If you go back to being Uzuki, there's no question you're getting killed. If you stay in control, nobody has to die. You want me to just keep living as Akao with you, buttheads? If only. Of course I would. And then Sakamoto's just staring, and then it cuts to Nagumo again. Akao, for now, just stay. And there's a beeping going on. This is an emergency JAA announcement. This is an emergency JAA announcement. And Nagumo is looking around, wondering what's going on. And then he looks at his phone. Former JAA member Kei Uzuki. Former Order member Taro Sakamoto, former Order member Yoichi Nagumo are all designated as Special Class A extermination targets for conspiracy against the JAA. Kill on sight! Bro, Nagumo, who's on the Order, has just been kicked out of the Order and is now wanted along with Sakamoto and Uzuki. Just instantly, was this Asaki's doing? Then we cut to Shin going, Mr. Sakamoto! And then it cuts to Miss Osaragi, who's still strangling Amane. Then it cuts to Shishiba. Nagumo? What's going on? And then it cuts to, it was Asaki. They won't get away. Not a single person's escaping this museum. As all of his guards have caught up to him, and he's just sitting in the midst of these paintings with this look of doom on his face. Resolve and doom. You know, you can get those two specific looks together. This is the chairman's doing. Why would he go so far? And then Nagumo realizes. And then Uzuki's looking confused. Sakamoto? Sakamoto? Uzuki. Uzuki's back. Okay, the Uzuki main personality has surfaced again. Rion is gone. Uzuki's back now. Uzuki. And And while everyone is trying to process what's just happening, we cut to someone standing on the glass ceiling of this section of the museum. This person with a business suit. This short, old-looking man holding a sword in one hand. Nagumo looks up sweating and goes, "Uh-oh." And then we don't even see the motion of the cut. We just see the motion of the sword returning to its sheath and the roof itself being sliced. And in an instant, Old Man Takemura lands in between everyone. This is like Zabuza landing in between Team Kakashi when they were trying to escort that one dude to the Hidden Rain Village. Takemura is there in the midst of everyone. Oh no! I'm scared! I'm scared. This is the end of chapter 163. Onwards to chapter 164. We'll talk more in a minute. Days 164, Takamura. It's not Takemura, it's Takamura. So I was saying it right initially. I don't know where I got the Takemura from. Apologies for that. But this chapter is just called Days 164, Takamura. And he's right there in between Uzuki, Sakamoto, and Nagumo. And he's still gripping his sword. And then he prepares to draw it. And everyone does everything in their power to keep his katana from being unsheathed. Sakamoto immediately punches into the scabbard, and Uzuki immediately wraps his chain whip around it. Nagumo immediately stabs into it, and they manage just to keep it from completely unsheathing. Only just a little bit of sword is showing, and everyone is sweating bullets. Sakamoto, Uzuki, Nagumo. And they immediately dash away because that does not stop Takamura as he slashes in their direction. They immediately, they just scatter. It's all like, we stopped him, but we didn't stop him. So they immediately jump out of the way. And then Takamura immediately sheaths his sword. And while Uzuki's jumping away, I think he gets clipped. I think he gets clipped by Takamura. Yeah, I think he gets clipped by Takamura because Uzuki was jumping away from him, but then all of a sudden Uzuki is now tumbling on the ground. Takamura clipped him. And he's bleeding out now. Uzuki is now bleeding out. And there's blood splurting, I think, out of his arm. And then Takamura is muttering to himself again. And then all of a sudden, Uzuki gets grabbed by Nagumo. And of course, Uzuki is coughing. Did we do something to make Mr. Takamura angry? Well, we've been marked as special Class A extermination targets. To Mr. Takamura, we're the enemies. Why did you save me? Shut up. What am I doing? So many of my friends have died because of Uzuki. He should be killed. He should be killed. Akao's a personality created by his memories. She no longer exists in this world, except inside him. Uzuki and Akao, for old time's sake, why don't we... And while Nagumo is saying this, Takamura is already behind Nagumo. As if this... Because the thing is, Takamura was just walking... Everyone was in front view. But Takamura was just passing in front of them horizontally. Then all of a sudden, he's right behind Nagumo. Remember, Nagumo's a fast joker. Takamura has just blitzed him. And before Sakamoto can say Nagumo, Takamura slashes right into Nagumo. He slashes him in the chest, cutting straight through the blade that Nagumo was using this entire time. He just slices through it completely. Seriously, what am I doing? If Akao saw me, I bet she'd laugh. And then it cuts to Takamura. No, it cuts to Sakamoto, who proceeds to blitz Takamura. And Takamura, being incredibly fast, slashes in the direction of where Sakamoto is, and only manages to have his glasses laying on top of his blade. Is this the first time we're going to see Sakamoto without his glasses on? Sakamoto's glasses are just on Takamura's blade, and he's still muttering to himself. Yo, and Sakamoto has gone slim form and proceeds to spin kick Takamura straight out of the museum and knocks Takamura into a bus. But Takamura is a busted old man, because not only did he survive getting knocked into the bus, he is already in a position where he can launch himself. The moment he hit the bus, he's already in a position where he can launch himself right back into the museum again. He's literally up against the wall, like feet and sword and body prepared to just launch into the bus. And the impact was enough to just completely break the glass and bend the metal from that. These people are busted in this story. You got me wanting to read this from the start? Hey, that's what we dramatic readers will do for you. We'll make you want to experience this story from the beginning again. But then it cuts to thin Sakamoto while Nagumo's on the ground bleeding, going, Sakamoto, get out of here. Even if you lose weight, Mr. Takamura's gonna... Quiet. I'm trying to focus. And then there's a glint from inside of the hole that Sakamoto knocked Takamura through, and Takamura, using Flash Step, is already skidding behind Sakamoto, preparing to cut him. And when that happens, Sakamoto barely has enough time to jump up to keep from getting cut completely through, because Takamura slices through an entire support column of the building. And while Sakamoto is airborne, while he's up airborne with this pillar that is rising off of its foundation because of how fast it was cut. He's on top of this. Ooh, this is such a good chapter. He's already on top of this support beam that's airborne because of that light speed slice. And then he launches at Takamura and tries to bring a heel drop directly on top of him. Takamura, however, has his scabbard, and he's completely blocked Sakamoto's foot from getting anywhere near his head. The only thing that happened is that his scabbard kind of cratered into the ground from the impact of Sakamoto, much to Sakamoto's shock. Then we see the outside of the museum and a big explosion just erupt from where Takamura proceeds to slice through almost the entire building. When I tell you old man Sakamoto is all like... And as soon as he unsheaths his sword, everything just gets cut apart. Bruh, it's so good. It's so good. But Sakamoto gets knocked outside. Don't break that chair. I ain't gonna break it. It's the only one I got in my room at the moment. But Sakamoto is knocked outside. Compared to when I was in the order, he's way stronger. And it cuts to Takamura, who's already walking past all of this rubble with his sword at his side. He's just walking past a mountain of rubble from the building he's just cut open. Then we cut to Kashima, because remember, Kashima is still with the body of Gaku. What's going on? The entire museum's shaking. And then we cut to the body of Gaku, and the last panel we get for chapter 164 is Gaku's finger twitching. That's the end of chapter 164. Onwards to chapter 165. Let's go. Days 165, accessibility. And we have Nagamo, who's lying on the ground. We have Uzuki, who's just, kind of braced up against the wall. Wait, they got a wolf head? Wolf head? Are you talking about Kashima? That's a deer. Notice the antlers? That's a deer. It's a deer head. But we have Uzuki, who's braced up against, a support beam or something, and he's kind of bleeding as well. Then it cuts to a section of the museum that is just filled with rubble. Then it cuts to the closed-eyed face of Takamura, and Sakamoto, who has a sign that says 3rd Exhibition Hall, and he's trying to hit Takamura. He's trying to hit Takamura, who just casually flips over it. And Sakamoto barely has enough time to dodge all of these slashes because Sakamoto has barely any time to dodge these slashes from Takamura because he goes in for the stab and he basically destroys an entire pillar just by stabbing. It's one thing to see him slice through a support beam by slicing, but him destroying an entire support beam by just stabbing into it, it's incredible how strong this guy is. Boy, I cannot wait to fully catch up to this series because I would love to look up the Sakamoto Days wiki to see what the strength of these characters are, but we'll cross that bridge once we are fully caught up with the series. This manga is super underrated. It is. It's good. It is so good. When Gajeel was telling me, hey, this is a good manga, you're going to enjoy it, that's one thing. And Gajeel is a very good judge of character when it comes to manga and comics in general. He's a comic aficionado. But I didn't know it was going to be this good. This is an incredible series, and I've been... How many read-throughs have I done? I want to say I've done about 18 different streams dedicated to this series. I think I started the month before last. And this whole series has just been nothing but incredible. The art has been pristine. But back to the fight. Sakamoto dodges away and he skids across the ground and he gets back up as Takamura sheathes his sword again. And he just continues muttering to himself. And it shows him sheathing his sword. After every few swings, Mr. Takamura sheathes his sword again. I gotta stop him before he unsheathes it again. And Sakamoto goes to stomp onto the pommel of Takamura's sword, thinking he stopped him from drawing his blade out. But Takamura, being a very smart individual, instead uses the hand that's holding the sheath, holding the scabbard, and throws that away instead. You did not stop him! That's scary. It's one thing to think, if we just keep him from drawing his sword, and I just stomp on his sword to keep it from moving, then he can't draw it. But Sakamoto's all like, Uno reverse card. I throw the scabbard away. And Sakamoto just goes, uh-oh. And then it shows the inside of vending machines. And we see a whole bunch of juice boxes lined up with a very narrow view of Sakamoto at the end. Think of the camera view from the inside of Jean Jacket at the beginning of Up. Of Up. And wait a minute. What is it? What is it called? Is it called Up? Hold on. What is that? Oh, great. I just forgot Up is the Disney movie. What is the movie with the alien that was eating people in that Jordan Peele movie? What? I forget it. What is it called? Let me see. Kyushu, have you seen the Order anime character intros? I have not. Hold on. What is that Jordan Peele movie? Nope. Yeah, Nope. Okay, sorry. It's called Nope. So, you know how you have that opening view in the movie Nope? It's like that, except we see Sakamoto on one side and perfectly intact juice boxes. I know I do a lot of deviations. You'll have to bear with me. Perfectly pristine, and intact juice boxes. The next panel is not only the juice boxes being sliced through perfectly and cleanly, but all adjacent vending machines being sliced through, including the wall they're propped up on. And Sakamoto jumps out of the way to keep from getting hit by this slash. And then it shows Sakamoto muttering again, going, and Sakamoto, while this juice is splashing in the air, he gets some juice in his mouth so he can, keep himself hydrated during this fight. I can't stop Mr. Takamura, so I'll have to go for his katana. And Sakamoto breaks open one of the glass displays and gets a blade for himself, and he goes full force against Takamura, who is, blocking all of these strikes just effortlessly. Then Sakamoto grabs one of those, safety ropes, one of those, extended safety ropes. He grabs one of them and wraps it around Takamura and then proceeds to kick him straight through the roof up to the cafe area of the museum. Takamura is completely fine, and he casually just flips over a table that has spaghetti just sitting on top. Spaghetti and a full drink. So whoever got this food did not manage to eat a single bite or take a single swig. But he jumps over this whole table, and he already has his... The thing that scares me is the fact that he moved his scabbard away in order to unsheath it earlier, but then he has it again, and he cuts straight through the roof in order for him to continue attacking Sakamoto. And when Takamura brings his sword towards Sakamoto, his sword is stopped. Sakamoto brings up a gun and it stops the blade, and it shows that the blade has been suffering damage. The same blade that has been cutting through basically everything is showing signs of wear from this whole entire fight. There's cracks and indentions across the blade itself. Nagumo sees this and goes, "He stopped him? Oh, so Sakamoto's been wearing down his katana for this." And Sakamoto takes the gun and just fires at Takamura. And Takamura just takes his blade and has it in reverse. You know what? I can do this with this sword. I can do this with this. So, let me show you what he's doing. So, Takamura has his blade extended. Now, across the edge of the blade itself, it's very chipped and everything. This is a very old sword. I got this from GameStop like years and years and years ago. But across the blade, like near the tip of the sword, there's like cuts and indentions. Takamura, as Sakamoto is shooting at him, he takes his blade and aims it across his chest, causing the bullets to hit in specific sections. And then it shows Takamura's blade has become sharp again. He sharpened his katana with my bullets? This man is so busted, his sword was breaking. So he used Sakamoto's very own bullets to resharpen his blade. He laid it across him so that the bullets could hit in a way where it would resharpen his sword again. He aimed his sword in a way where he could resharpen his sword with Sakamoto's bullets. That's busted. And while Sakamoto is shocked from this, Takamura just cuts him across the chest. His sword is sharp again. He cuts through his gun, he cuts through Sakamoto's gun, and then proceeds to cut through Sakamoto. And Sakamoto just gets dropped to the ground. And then Takamura lands on the ground and he's still muttering to himself. Then all of a sudden, the area fills with smoke, much to Takamoto's confusion. And it was Nagumo, who's there with Sakamoto. Nagumo, you're still alive, Sakamoto? Don't move. Muffle your hostility as much as you can. Hostility? Mr. Takamoto is super sensitive to hostility and antagonism. His vision's pretty bad, so I doubt he can see us now. This man is basically Fujitora. His vision is bad. Not blind, but bad. And he's basically just he's basically just sensing his opponent's hostility and antagonism just to pinpoint where they are. This man is using this universe's version of observation hockey to Fujitora's degree. His vision's pretty bad, so I doubt he can see us now. I can still fight. My apron blocked the cut from being lethal. What type of apron this Joker got? This has got to be better than the one John Wick. This has got to be better than the one John Wick was using this entire time. The John Wick suit was made of. Neither of us are in any condition to fight, but if you want to die, I won't stop you. Then all of a sudden, Nagumo's eyes open wide as it shows Takamura is directly behind him. He found us. Must have leaked some hostile vibes. Well, now we have to fight. Then, all of a sudden, Takamura kind of twitches a little bit. And then he looks in another direction. His eyes still close, and we see a figure coming through the smoke. And Takamura just casually raises his sword to block Gaku. Gaku is up. And he is here for round 2. But the thing is, Takamura is unfazed by this attack from Gaku at all. Much to the shock of Sakamoto and Nagumo. And Uzuki sees him going, Gaku, yo, Gramps, I've come to kill you. And then Takamura is just muttering to himself. And that's the end of chapter 165. Onwards to chapter 166. Days 166, False Madman. Still blocking Gaku and his, mace laser weapon. He's alive? And Sakamoto is silent, still kind of bleeding though. Gaku, stop! And when he says this, Haruma lands right behind Uzuki. Haruma, sorry I'm late, Kei. And then it cuts to Gaku getting his arm stabbed into by Takamura. And Cause Gaku actually tried to hit him with his weapon, Takamura just casually jumps over his arm. This man is literally Yoda. This man is Yoda. The way he's flipping and dipping over everybody, he is Yoda. But while Gaku tried to hit Takamura stabbed him in the arm. And this bothers Gaku as he appears to knock away old man Takamura. Takamura then proceeds to use his sword to skid to a halt. Haruma, using a shot put, jumps up in the air and tries to spike it towards Takamura. Takamura, still muttering to himself, just puts his sword behind his back. And slices through the shot put with the rising of his sword, causing it to split into 2 pieces and hit a far distance away from him. You know how it is. You see Mihawk cut things in 2, and then you see the explosion happen. Or like live action Mihawk, where he sliced the cannons from like Don Krieg, and then it hit like 2 pirates, or I think it hit like 2 different places in between them when he sliced through it. It's basically Basically, it's basically like that. And Takamura is still just muttering to himself. I know OBS keeps cutting out a little bit, so just bear with me, but we're all fine. And then we have Haruma. So that's the grandpa you were talking about. He is a beast, right? Both of you, back off. We can't do that now. That's an order, Haruma. From the little taste of battle, one thing is clear. We can't destroy the JAA without killing this guy. And this draws Uzuki's attention. I told you, Kei. We're birds of a feather. Then we go back in time when apparently Uzuki was speaking to Haruma in the past. Hey, Haruma, why do we have to be assassins? There's that side of the fence and there's this side. Why are our purposes in life so different? There's no point in thinking about it. If you don't like it, run away from Alkamar and live on the streets. This is Alkamar, and everyone is basically just stuck inside. Ever since we were little, all we've done is train to kill. How could we just live in the regular world now? In other words, you're scared, that's all. What's your problem with being an assassin, anyway? Assassins always have to be the bad guy. I can't fully be a good or bad guy. I don't belong in either world. And this gets Haruma's attention in the past. And then he just kind of minorly smiles and goes, yeah, I kind of get that. Okay, well then, we're birds of a feather. Birds of a feather. And then it cuts back to the present as Haruma is on the ground, and it appears that he's been hit by Takamura, and he skids right back to where Uzuki and Gaku are, who, kind of look like they're backing him up. Kei, can you move? Both of you, listen to me. Mr. Takamura's awareness is hazy, but he's a killing machine with an extreme sensitivity to bloodlust. So I have a theory, and I need your help. Then it cuts to Haruma and Gaku, and Haruma starts booking it, while Gaku is still clashing with Takamura. And while they're clashing, they're pretty much just destroying the entire environment all around them. Then it shows Uzuki's chain whip coming in and wrapping around Takamura's arm. Just as I thought. If my intent is to immobilize rather than kill, Mr. Takamura won't be able to deflect the attack. And then Uzuki throws his chain weapon into an elevator, and it causes the elevator to go down, and it starts dragging Takamura back. Then Takamura goes to try and cut the chain, but then he stops in order to keep Gaku's weapon from actually hitting him in the face, so he goes back to just like deflecting. Oh no, you won't. Die! And then it shows Gaku and Haruma running up on Takamura, who appears to be restrained. And while old man Takamura is restrained, he speaks. You think I'm senile, don't you? And all of... Ooh! I got chills from this. You think I'm senile, don't you? And it shows Haruma, Gaku, and Uzuki with wide eyes as Takamura cuts off his own... He cuts off his own arm! He cuts off his own arm to escape the chain whip. And while his arm is still falling, he catches it. He cut off his own arm. His own arm. He cut off his own arm. And Takamoto catches his arm and proceeds to look as if he's placing it back. Awesome. It's really connected. You should thank the person who sliced it off. The cut was incredibly clean. And this is back when Gaku's arm was being restitched and attached again by Kashima all those volumes ago. Takamura then places his arm back onto its foundation. And as if nothing happened to his arm at all, his hand that he cut off proceeds to move as if to grab his sword again. Seriously, this world is full of scumbags who don't deserve to live. And as soon this man cut off his own arm, put it back on, and has sliced straight through Haruma. Haruma's gone. He's dead. He just sliced straight through Haruma. This man terrifies me. Seriously, this world is full of scumbags who don't deserve to live. And he just straight up kills Haruma right there. He slices through his entire torso and both of his arms in the process. He already just EI slices straight through Haruma. That's the end of chapter 166. No, that's crazy. How you gonna slice your own arm off to free yourself, then reattach it, and then go back to fighting as if you didn't just dismember yourself? And then just, Haruma's gone, okay? This ain't Kashima where he can survive having the vast majority of his body just explode and dismembered. Haruma is dead. That's his whole torso gone. That's the end of chapter 166. Onwards to chapter 167. Days 167. Peering into the abyss. This world is full of nothing but scum who don't deserve to live. Haruma, and this is moments before Haruma got cut. He knows what's about to happen, and with all of his strength, he shoves away Uzuki, and he winds up getting sliced through his entire torso in an instant right in front of Uzuki's eyes. Haru. And then it shows Takamura, who skids to a halt, and he's just standing still. Like he didn't just blitz everyone out. Like he didn't just cut off his own arm, reattach it like it was nothing, and then proceeded to just murder this guy. And then we get Nagumo and Sakamoto, who run up and try and hit Takamura. Like, Sakamoto has, like, a solid bench, and Nagumo is holding on to him, attempting to hit him. And we got Sakamoto and Nagumo going, how long can I last with these injuries? Then Takamura takes his scabbard and smacks Sakamoto in the face with it. Then he blocks Nagumo's blade with the guard, with like the handle of his own katana. And while this is going on, he continues to just like manhandle both Sakamoto and Nagumo. Darn it. Is he for real? What's this guy's deal? And while that's going on, Gaku is right above Takamura. Right above Takamura. And it looks like Takamura hits Gaku in the face. But much to the shock of Nagumo and Sakamoto, Gaku allowed his face to get minorly cut into so he could grab Takamura's sword and literally snap it off with his teeth. Gaku got cut into the side of his face, but used that opportunity to take Takamura's sword and snap it off completely. Fantastic, you old geezer. And then he grabs Takamura and aims his own face towards Takamura's face, as if to say, like he's going to use the blade of Takamura to slice him in the face. And Gaku manages to slice Takamura across his eye, but Takamura manages to pierce Gaku straight through the chest. So they both land hits on each other, but I fear the one for Gaku was far more lethal, because that looks like a spinal stab. That is going through the center of his body mass. Then Sakamoto is just looking as Takamura is standing over what could be the dead body of Gaku. And then the very next panel is Takamura already past Sakamoto, slashing both Sakamoto and Nagumo in an instant. Didn't see that coming at all. We can't beat this guy. We're all dead. And then Takamura is just still muttering to himself. Then it shows Haruma dead. It shows Gaku potentially dead. And it shows Uzuki going, Gaku, Haruma. And it shows everyone from Alkmaar in the past when they were, a little bit younger. Then it shows Rion. And then Uzuki is just screaming out, "Ah! You always take away my family. Why? Why?" And then it shows Uzuki's heart pounding. The voice. Who are you? Get out! And it shows Takamura's face, and it shows the damage that Gaku did to his face, where it shows his ear has been pretty much completely sliced through all the way. Like, there's a very big gash going through the right side of Takamura's face. Then it shows Uzuki's face, which looks like they're changing as, veins start to pop up around his eye. And then it shows Takamura aiming for Uzuki. And while it shows the blade next to Uzuki, we get a flashback for Wu-Tang speaking to Sakamoto beforehand. To overcome extreme stress or a shocking experience, and to deal with unbearable pain, X could have created a new personality. And Sakamoto is just looking. As Uzuki suddenly slices through Old Man Takamura. Not just his arm, but through his midsection as well. That's not just like a cut through the side. No. Apparently Uzuki has a brand new personality, and it just cut through Takamura completely. And this was enough for Old Man Takamura to open his other eye. And this Takamura's down. Uzuki just cut down Old Man Takamura in an instant. And Sakamoto and Nagumo can only look in shock, like me, as Uzuki is standing past Takamura. And the personality that Uzuki has taken on, he has basically copied Takamura, because he's muttering to himself unintelligibly as well. The brand new personality that exists within Uzuki has completely copied Takamura. And he just proceeds to just walk into this fire extinguisher gas that's going through the museum right now. We just lost Takamura, but we also gained another one again in the form of a new personality. So not only do we have a personality for Uzuki that's basically Rion, but now we have not only do we have a personality that's of Rion, now we have a personality of Takamura inside Uzuki now. Because it shows Uzuki holding a sword close to his face, the same way that Old Man Takamura does. And he just walks into the smoke. And that's the end of chapter 167. Let me see. His eyes is scary. Yeah. Sakamoto Days 168, museum closed. Oh, so that's the color of Pisuke. We get a color cover page, a double spread color page, where it shows all the main people from the Sakamoto shop, and Nagumo included, apparently doing like this recording session. Sakamoto's got like a cameraman camera. Shin has all of like the background supplies and everything. Heisuke is providing the boom mic and sound. I guess Nagumo is reading his lines while we get Hana and Aoi, along with Lou, who apparently has like the little reflective surface thing that you can use to get like good light on the face, and Pisuke's flying in the air with shades on. So that's Days 168, museum closed. And Uzuki, with a brand new Takamura personality, walks into the smoke, just muttering to himself. Uzuki. And then we just cut to the body of old man Takamura just laying on the ground. And then we get a thud sound, and Nagumo falls unconscious. Nagumo! His body's hypothermic. This is bad. We've both lost too much blood. We gotta get out of here. Because remember, Nagumo is now wanted by the JAA. Nagumo, don't die. And that while Sakamoto is saying this, he's thinking back to how Uzuki just suddenly became a brand new Takamura. Those final movements. Don't tell me. And Sakamoto's having a hard time standing upright because he's lost a lot of blood thanks to old man Takamura. And he slumps, and then it cuts to Shin, along with Kashima, who's running towards them. Shin, you're okay. And then it cuts to the outside of the museum, and then it cuts to 2 black panels. Then it cuts to the cityscape. And then we're around Sakamoto, who's still in his slim form right now. Here, let's give him this too. No, don't, it's gonna spill. But when he smells of food, the boss will. He's not an animal, okay? And then Sakamoto wakes up. And he's just surrounded by Wake Donalds. I say Wake Donalds because the arches are upside down rather than right side up. Oh, see? Shin, Lou, where am I? Mr. Sakamoto! And a week has passed. 1 week?
Yeah, a week ago, Shin dragged you here, covered in blood. Took you for a corpse at first, for heaven's sake.
You don't remember? You collapsed at the art museum, Mr. Sakamoto. Hey, Wu-Tang is there as well. I was trying to drag you and Nagumo out of there. Impressive. And then we bumped into Amane, who is apparently trying to run away from Miss Osaragi, but Osaragi is like holding on to his shirt. Just when it seemed like it was over, Seba showed up in the nick of time, and right now everyone's been evacuated to safety, to the JCC and elsewhere. And Osaragi is once again spooked by Seba being a ghost, that she gets scared and immediately lets go of Amane and just staring at ghost Seba with wide, shocked, scared eyes. So Amane's back at the JCC. Everyone went their separate ways and everything. And right now, everyone's been evacuated to safety, to the JCC and elsewhere. Well, I'm glad everyone's okay. But now the problem is, the JAA is currently mobilizing all of its forces to search for you, Mr. Sakamoto. And there are so many JAA members just outside of Sakamoto's shop. And they're asking questions. They're asking questions while they're inside of the shop. Sakamoto's not here. Buy something. I'm sorry, little girl. I'm busy right now. And then Aoi's looking at her phone going, with her phone saying, Mr. Sakamoto woke up. Yay! Shin.
Oh, good.
And this is Aoi thinking this to herself. That's her husband, you know? Then we get news. Time for STV Assassin News. In the Okutami Art Museum attack last week, the cost of damages is estimated at over 20 billion yen. Floaters are continuing restoration activities. Principal culprits Taro Sakamoto, Yoichi Nagumo, and Kei Uzuki have been designated as a special... Well, actually, it's the lady who's saying this because the other news anchor that's right next to her is just casually digging in his nose on camera. Nasty.
Principal culprits Taro Sakamoto, Yoichi Nagumo, and Kei Uzuki have been designated as Special Class A extermination targets. The Investigations Department is currently searching for the targets, whose whereabouts are unknown.
The designation of Special Class A extermination targets has only taken place twice in the past, and among JAA operatives. So that's what's happening. And then it cuts to Nagumo, who's just sitting up casually. And then he pretends to be asleep as soon as Shin just spins around and looks at him. Let me see. I just got here. This is really good voice acting. Lammy Lamb, thank you. This is what I do for all the series that I read. I like to figure myself a very accomplished voice actor. That's what I like to think. Thank you. I appreciate your compliment. I'll cherish it for the end of my days. But yeah, Nagumo is just sitting up. And he immediately just, you know how you a kid and you pretending to be up, and then when your parents look back, you go like, pretending? Nagumo does that, and Shin goes,
Nagumo, you rat! How long have you been awake?
Since yesterday, actually. Long time no see, Granny Mia.
You're a tough little whippersnapper, that's for sure.
And then we get Wu-Tang. All right, Sakamoto, let's cut to the chase. Isn't it about time you told us what happened at that art museum? What happened with X? And then time passes and Shin goes,
So, X took Mr. Takamura's life?
Is this Takamura guy seriously that freaky?
Well, if these two kids wound up like this, he's for sure the toughest guy in the assassin world. I heard rumors about him when I was young. I'm amazed there was someone with the chops to kill him.
And then Lou chimes in.
How on earth was this X guy strong enough to kill someone that tough?
No, that wasn't X.
Yeah.
Huh? In that final attack and from his movements when he left, I'm 100% sure that Uzuki became Mr. Takamura. Much to the shock of everyone. Are you saying Takamura's persona took over X? That's right.
That's right? Nagumo, is that what you also think?
At first I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. But I thought about it and I think the only person who could actually kill Mr. Takamura is Mr. Takamura. And then Lou chimes in.
Wait a minute. Someone's persona taking over someone else's? Is this for real?
Yeah, you two are probably just freaked out, and then Wu-Tang is speaking up.
Right, Wu-Tang? Why aren't you saying anything?
Slur's multiple personality disorder is triggered by extreme stress. This is just a hypothesis, but the psychological stress of seeing his friends killed off by one and his fear of Mr. Takamura could have triggered Uzuki's self-preservation instincts. So in order to deal with Mr. Takamura, he created a new persona within himself, and that persona was essentially a copy of Mr. Takamura. It's the worst-case scenario imaginable. It really is, because they're saying he's pretty much the toughest out of the toughest assassin in the world. Where even Sakamoto, he's way stronger than Sakamoto. Well, he was. The original, the OG's Sakamoto. He was way stronger than Sakamoto was. Ever since he left the Order, Sakamoto just got even stronger. So now we have a personality of Uzuki that is essentially a carbon copy, well, a mental carbon copy of Takamura himself. You think it's a soul transfer? See, the reason why I didn't respond to that was because I knew the explanation was going to come up in this chapter as soon as I kept reading. But now we cut to Shishiba and Miss Osaragi. And then we have someone say, "Long time no see, Shishiba and Osaragi." You're a minute and 14 seconds late. Oh, wait. You're a minute and 14 seconds late. What do you have to say for yourself? You're as nitpicky as ever. What difference does 1 minute make? What can you do in that time? For one thing, I could kill you. Go ahead and try. You expect me to work for free? Order! Oki! We got a brand new order member! If you want to hire me for a job, pay up and go through the JAA. I'll kill you anyway. Oh, wait. If you want to hire me for a job, pay up and go through the JAA. I'll kill you any way you like. And Shishiba is clearly bothered by this order member Oki. All right, that's enough. Why'd you call us all over here? And it's Kamihate, who is still shown off screen. While I was on assignment overseas, 2 order members died, 2 left the force, and multiple branches of the JAA have been destroyed. I'm extremely disappointed in you. But it's the leader's fault when his underlings screw up. I will take responsibility for this and die after the mission is over. Nice. Drop dead. Awesome! And they're all thinking that this Oki person should die. Since he's saying leader, though, is he the leader of the order? Oki? Mr. Oki! But they're all wishing that he die. So what'll your final act be? To correct what is wrong in the name of the order. And while he's saying this, we have the pictures of Sakamoto, Nagumo, and Uzuki. To correct what is wrong is by killing all 3 of these people, apparently. And that's the end of chapter 168. Onwards to chapter 169. One more chapter after this, and then we can call this whole session to a close. Oh, I hope you guys are enjoying, because I love reading this story right now. Days 159, a new mission. To correct what is wrong in the name of the order. Oki's a real nut job. As he's looking at the photos of his, former crew, former order members and Uzuki. Mr. Oki, I'll be honest, this won't be easy. You've got the former top assassins of the industry, a master of disguise, and the worst terrorist in the history of JAA. Like I said earlier, I'm not expecting much from you guys. That's why I've recruited 2 new order members. I want you to meet them. Come with me. And they meet up at this pachinko and slot shop. This pachinko and slot I won't say building. I want to say building. And it cuts to someone who's just casually playing music at the front of the store. And Osaragi is just looking at this person. We're going inside, Osaragi. And she's still staring at this guy playing on his instrument. But Shishiba heads inside. That's unusual. She doesn't usually stop for things like that. And then while we're in there, we see this individual who looks incredibly disheveled in front of this slot machine. Are you winning, Torres? Don't talk to me right now, Mr. Oki. Torres! I've only hit 1 jackpot today, even though I've been rolling since 9. Crap, missed again. What's with this old geezer? He's just a plain old gambling addict. Torres, about what we talked about. Oh yeah, about joining order, right? I'll do it. I can't refuse anyway. After all, I owe the JAA 60.2 billion yen. That he owes the JAA more than the cost of damages to the museum. Because the museum is going to cost, the estimated cost of damages to the museum is 20 billion yen. This man owes 40 billion yen more than the cost of damages to the museum. That's 400 million more than last month. I lost 300 million on boat races. The other 100 million I spent. And then Kamihate, still only being displayed by the muzzle of his anti-material rifle, just goes, "Any jerk who racks up debt on top of debt is garbage. If you ask me, you should work and pay it off." "This is stupid, Mr. Oki. I'm leaving." "Hold up, young man." "What?" "Lend me some money before you leave. Just 20 million. And Shishiba looks at him and attempts to hit him directly in the back. But then, while Shishiba brings his hammer back, the claw of his hammer is gone. Here's the thing. Shishiba is fast, incredibly fast. But the claw of his hammer has been completely done away with, like it doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. "What's with this guy? The end of my hammer broke." "No, it's been chipped away. I only work enough to pay off the interest. But living and killing costs money, so my debt is always rising." "Sounds like a real problem, Pops." "What do you think, Mr. Shishiba? Impressed?" "Fine. Where's the other one?" Another bail." And Oki and company. Oki is still out there. Oki and company walk outside, and then we see Osaragi still in front of this person with the music. "Still listening, Osaragi?"
"Yeah. Mr. Shishiba, this guy's song is amazing. I'm getting such a sad vibe from it."
And while the dude is strumming, he strums his guitar one more time, and then all of a sudden, Osaragi just falls directly in front of this person. "You didn't get my song at all. This song is about the bliss I felt the first time I killed a person." Tanabata, another potential order member. Tanabata is also a professional musician. His songs are inspired by killing.
"That jerk! How dare he! My poor sweet Osaragi!"
Kamihate is getting bent out of shape because Osaragi kind of fell forward. And before Tanabata can say anything, he gets grabbed by the scruff of his neck by Osaragi going,
"That was extremely loud. Have some respect, newbie."
"Sorry, what you said was hard for me to handle." And Osaragi is kind of bleeding from her nose because she literally fell flat on her face. And then we get Oki. "Well, now that everyone's acquainted, the 6 of us are the Order now. And our mission is to exterminate 3 targets: Sakamoto, Nagumo, and X. It doesn't matter if they used to be our colleagues. If they're disturbing the Order, then kill them without hesitation. Now, get to work." And we cut back to Mia's clinic. Wow, okay, so this is bad. The Order's biggest job they're taking care of right now is to hunt down Nagumo, Sakamoto, and X with extreme prejudice. But we cut back to Mia's clinic, where Sakamoto is just scarfing down noodles. "Oh no, what's today's date?"
September 26th.
"It's Hannah's birthday!"
What?
I gotta go buy a cake."
Let us go instead."
"No! I want to give it to her myself and hear her say thank you." And this is Sakamoto, who's getting bent out of shape that he could possibly miss a chance to bring his own daughter a cake. But then we get old lady Mia. Old lady Mia.
"Forget it. You can't go out there right now."
"Why not go out in disguise?" "Huh? Can I go too if I help out? I'm sick of sitting around doing nothing." And we cut to the Ikoraizaka shopping arcade, and Nagumo has disguised Shin, Sakamoto, and himself. Sakamoto has now been disguised to look like Aoi again. Like, remember how he was disguised to look like Aoi back during the JCC arc? So we got Nagumo, who looks like a big, plump, fat dude. And then we have Shin, who has glasses and dark hair. And like I said, Sakamoto looks just like his wife.
"There are some JA members around, but they're not paying us any attention."
Well, duh, I did the disguise.
How long will they last?
About 30 minutes.
How come you're fat?
And then it cuts to a cake that they already got the cake. They already got the cake.
Got the cake. Now we give it to Hannah and mission complete.
While we're here, I want to stop at the arcade.
We don't have time, some other day.
But if I win a stuffed animal for Hannah, it might make her happy.
He's right. He's right. He's right. Mr. Sakamoto, don't let him trick you, please. Sheesh. Now, let's get to work.
As Shin bumps into a man with long hair.
Ow.
And he bumps directly into Shishiba. As the other members of the Order, Torres and Tanabata, walk right past him. They walk right past him.
The Order? What are they doing here?
Don't react. The slightest change in expression could give us away. Keep calm, keep calm. And while they're walking past each other, Sakamoto sneaks a glance towards Torres, and Torres sneaks a glance back, and he goes, huh? And that's the end of chapter 169. Onwards to the last chapter for today. Let me make sure that chat is current. Yes, okay, good. Because sometimes YouTube be finicky that way. Chapter 170. Days 170, cake. And Torres is looking in the direction of Sakamoto and company, and Oki goes, what is it, Torres? Mr. Oki? So he's back from abroad.
Crap, did they recognize us?
Don't stop. Wait. I believe that's Sakamoto's wife. I recognize her from some documents.
May I help you?
We're former colleagues of Sakamoto's. Do you know his current whereabouts?
No, we have a pretty lax relationship.
What a drag, Mr. Oki. Wouldn't it be faster if we just kidnapped the wife? And then all three of them get tense. Then Oki says, it's prohibited. According to JAA policy, under no circumstances shall a civilian be intentionally harmed. Let's go. Policies exist to maintain order, right? Who cares about if it's a civilian or two? And Sakamoto starts to get anger veins around his eyes while Shin is all like,
Mr. Sakamoto, stay calm.
And as soon as he does this, Shin basically just breaks his disguise because he can't keep his own facial look. Nagumo just warned him! He just warned them! Shin's disguise immediately dissipates, and he's exposed while Torres sees him. And mind you, Torres is further down the street, along with the rest of the Order, but Oki, Osaragi, Tanabata, Shishiba, they all notice, and then all of a sudden, Torres is right there behind Shin going, hey, you. And before he can do anything, Nagumo breaks his disguise and knees Torres directly in the face and goes, let's get out of here! And then Shishiba, not losing any composure, just goes, tch. And everyone just starts taking off, losing all their disguises. There we get Kamihate. Sakamoto? Darn it, should I shoot? And Oki goes, no, there are too many obstructions. Firearms are at a disadvantage. Leave it to Tanabata. And Tanabata immediately starts tuning his guitar. G sharp. And he puts like his chord for his guitar into a manhole cover. And he strums it. And I think the sound of his guitar travels through the sewer. And then the sound gets to a manhole cover that Sakamoto and company are running past. The sound appears that he uses the subway tunnels as a medium, and the sound travels to a manhole cover that Sakamoto is on top of, and the explosion from this sound causes the manhole cover to flip upwards and actually hit Sakamoto directly in the face. That sound just now, it wasn't a bomb. How do you attack? And Tanabata takes his guitar cord, like his power cable, and just launches it at Sakamoto. And apparently it's sharp enough to get embedded in Sakamoto's arm. A cable? And then Tanabata just strums his guitar, and the sound enters into Sakamoto's body, all the way through his body. The sound is reverberating into my head. And Sakamoto is doing, and he's holding on to it like his shopping bag, but he's kind of struggling because it's internal damage right now. Looks like you're unable to move much. Something holding you back? Shut up. And Sakamoto is kind of drooling a little bit because of how much of his equilibrium just got altered. He's not bleeding from the mouth, he's drooling from the mouth. Tanabata is the one to watch out for, even though Osaragi completely scares me. I understand how you feel. I want to write 5 new songs for my tour next year, but nothing's coming at all. For times like this, it's good to refresh yourself. What really gets my creativity going is the moment a person dies. And as Tanabata smiles, Osaragi with her circular saw and Kamihate with his rifle are right behind Sakamoto. And they're already in the motion of trying to attack him. And Nagumo's good looking back going, crap. And then it cuts to Shin, who's directly in front of Sakamoto, which shocks Sakamoto, and he goes, Shin, move! And before Osaragi and Kamihate can hit him, Shin just mentally yells out, stop! And it causes both Osaragi and Kamihate to stop mid-motion, much to their own confusion. And they both fall on top of each other.
Ouch.
As Osaragi falls on top of Kamihate.
She smells nice.
And he's literally pointing his gun at her head. He's literally pointing her barrel at her head. And all of a sudden, Sakamoto and company are just gone from sight. Then we get Torres. Should we go after them? Then Oki. No, it's okay. Unplanned battles lead to accidents. But that aside, those guys could have at least paid the courtesy of greeting me. Seriously. And then it cuts to Shishiba, who's been silent this whole time. Then we get back to Sakamoto and everyone else.
Sakamoto, you better show...
Oh, wait, this is Nagumo going, Sakamoto, you better show Shin some gratitude. You almost died on Hana's birthday. What did you do back there?
To tell you the truth, I don't know. I think it's some sort of telepathy. When I forcefully command someone to stop, for just a moment I can rewire their thoughts.
It doesn't negatively affect you, Shin?
Huh?
Well, that ability sounds way too convenient, so I'm wondering if there's any risks involved.
What do you mean?
Well, for example, losing a year of your life every time you use it.
Stop it. I'm gonna start to think that's true.
Huh? No sign of the JAA. Now's our chance. I'll give this cake to Hana. And while Sakamoto's looking down, he looks like he's shocked because the cake has been ruined. The cake has been ruined. And then it cuts to the evening. It's already nighttime, and Hana's enjoying her time with her mom and Lou, and Sakamoto's on the outside just crying his eyes out with Nagumo eating what remains of the smashed up cake going, you should go see her. The cake's ruined. I can't just show up. So what's the plan now? The order's gonna be on the attack again. Sakamoto's silent. I fought to protect my family and our life together. But this time around, I'm the one putting my family in danger. Maybe I'm not meant to be here. And that is the end of chapter 170. And that's where we're going to call it for this session. About a good 9 chapters for today's session. Next Monday will be the second to last, I want to say the second to last catch-up of me reading Sakamoto Days, and then the one after that will be my final read-through series, where I can finally move the series to Sunday. But so many cool things happened in these series of chapters. Wow! Let me see. Takeruga Sentai Gaming, love your voice acting, dude. Keep it up. Oh, I've been keeping it up for the past, I want to say, several years. So yeah, I have no intention of stopping this dramatic voice, this dramatic reading of the series that I read on. So thank you for that. I love it. Sakamoto's a W dad. He is. He really is. Because even after all this stuff that's going on, the most important thing to him is his family. So now he's wondering, do I even deserve to be here with them? Because if it's going to be putting their lives at risk, because Torres really put that thought in mind. Let's be honest. Torres really put that thought in mind of like, what'll matter if a civilian gets hurt, 1 or 2 civilians get hurt. So that's already a bad sign. That dude is already putting on notice for Sakamoto, because he's like, he would be okay with his wife and daughter, with kidnapping Sakamoto's wife and daughter. Torres would be okay with that. Sakamoto is not, because that's his family. And the only reason why his family has been kept safe this entire time is because he's been careful. But now the order is gunning for Nagumo, Uzuki, and Sakamoto by any means necessary. Except Oki is the only one keeping Aoi and Hana from being caught up in it, because that's one of the regulations. That's one of the rules that you simply cannot break. But a lot of things. Let's see, you can catch up because it's only 15 chapters, but you do you. I can, but I'm doing it like 9 at a time, because I want it to be a session where I catch up to the final chapter. I catch up to the latest chapter of Sakamoto Days, so that the next time I have a session of Sakamoto Days, it will be the newest chapter that is going to be coming out. So far, the anime intros and trailer haven't blown me away. Seems average. I've thought that about Sakamoto when I read it at the beginning, and look where we've ended up right now. So we'll see. Will Sakamoto be the next big thing when the anime comes out? We'll have to see. We have until January is when the series is going to be starting. So we'll have to see how things go from there. Should be very interesting. But all the fights in this series of chapters for today were just nothing short of amazing. I thought we were going to cut back to Amane dealing with Osaragi, but we really cut back to Takamura. Old man Takamura just coming in and just decimating everybody. And the man just continued to scare me more and more until Uzuki put into like dire stress because of Takamura cutting down Gaku and Haruma like they were basically nothing. Caused him to not only create a new personality, but to basically mirror old man Takamura as well, and use that personality to just straight up kill Takamura, who was pretty much one of the toughest assassins in the world, if not more so than Sakamoto in the present day. So now we have a personality for Uzuki that can move and fight like Takamura, which is bad. Because on top of Rion and the capabilities of Rion Akao, now we have a personality for Uzuki that essentially makes him pretty much the deadliest person in the world right now. So that's bad. But everything else that's been going on, also being introduced to Mr. Oki, who's apparently the leader of the Order, finding out that he's back from overseas, wonder what he's been doing, but maybe the series will tell me. I don't know, I'll let the series tell me that, so no hints. Now their main objective is to, because Asaki has put not only Sakamoto and Uzuki on special Class A extermination notice, but has also placed Nagumo there as well. So now the Order's main objective is to hunt all 3 of them down as prime assassination targets. Not apprehension targets, assassination targets. Orders to kill on sight. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. So I am very interested in seeing next week's volume. Oh my goodness. Do you believe Gaku is dead? Up until now, we still have no idea if he's dead or not. I am going to leave his fate unknown because his body, the Order members have changed a lot. They have. They got a gambling addict, and they got a dude who just likes to play music all the time and apparently goes on tour. So I'm going to wait for the series to tell me otherwise whether or not Gaku is dead or alive. Because unlike Haruma, his body was not sliced into pieces. Haruma is dead. He's dead. He's missing his bottom from his top permanently. So I'll wait for the series to say otherwise. So we'll just say his status is currently unknown. So we'll see. But overall, this was a fantastic reading for all of these chapters for today. The art was exceptional as well, especially all the fights. Like I want to say the best shot for me was when Sakamoto was fighting Old Man Takamura, and you see him fighting from inside of a vending machine, and then you just see the vending machine just being sliced all the way through by Takamura. Basically, any panel that had Takamura slicing anything was an exceptionally well-drawn panel. But that's just me, though. Overall, I enjoyed it. Yeah, overall, I enjoyed these series of volumes. But now's the time where I'm going to call this to a close. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping by. If you're new here to the channel, I just want to say I really do hope you enjoyed yourself because, you know, this is what I tend to do aside from gaming and reactions and what have you. I do stuff like this. I've done it for My Hero Academia. I got the entire series where I've read through that the same way I do this with like voices and everything. Did the same for Jujutsu Kaisen. Did the same for Demon Slayer. And I do it for like One Piece and One Punch Man and currently Sakamoto Days and a little bit later on Kaiju number 8. So I just want to say if you enjoyed yourself here today, then hey, I did my job and that's all I can really ever ask of you. Is if you enjoyed yourself, then hey, I did what this channel's purpose was. But I'm done, because I'm getting ready to eat just a little bit later on. So for all of you here today, all I can say is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!